Dictator was wearing a very familiar scowl, Perdita decided to pretend everything was as normal. "Hi, Janie, Greg. How are you?" Greg and Janie nodded stiffly, but didn't speak. Janie had taken on the appearance of a rabbit in thrall to a stoat. She didn't offer to put the kettle on, or make toast, nor did she start rummaging through Perdita's vegetables, exclaiming with delight or horror at what she found. Her eyes were red with weeping, but whether this was because of the pile of finely diced onions on her chopping board, or Enzo's replacement, Perdita couldn't tell. Greg, the washer-up and general dog's body, had his long hair tied back in a ponytail under a white cap instead of a bandana, and didn't make one of his sexist, racist, politically incorrect jokes, which always made Perdita laugh in spite of herself. The whole kitchen seemed under a strange, sinister enchantment, like Narnia under its blanket of snow. It was not hard to find the warlock responsible, Lucas Gillespie. "You will have gathered," he addressed his workforce, "that Perdita and I used to know each other." He gave her a slanting glance, and she stiffened. She didn't want their dirty and tear-stained linen washed in public. "It was only for a short time, years ago, when we were both very young." She relaxed. Lucas didn't want his failed marriage known about either. "I still am young," she said. He shrugged. "So, what have you got there?" Perdita looked down at the contents of her trug. "Your Enzo's usual order. Mash, various chicories, some ragged jack kale, the usual saladinis, lettuces, and pea plants." "Pea plants?" "Yes, an excellent crop. Excellent for her, anyhow. It was labour-intensive, but she made a lot of money out of it." She rummaged in her basket and broke him off a leaf. He crunched it up. Does it stand well?" "Of course. Everything I sell stands." "I suppose that explains the exorbitant prices you charge." He raised an eyebrow. "I've been looking at the accounts," he added. Perdita was offended. "My prices may seem high, but I offer very good value. And if you don't want to use me, feel free to stop. I've got plenty of chefs, I just can't supply at the moment." They weren't quite so conveniently situated as Grantley House Hotel. In fact, they were too far away to make supplying them profitable, but they did exist. "And you reckon you can grow anything?" "Well, I won't grow anything it doesn't pay me to grow. I've got to make a living, after all." "What about capsicums?" She shook her head. "Too much heat. Too expensive." Lucas frowned contemplatively. "Stay here," he commanded, and strode off towards the cold store. The moment he was out of the room, she asked in a stage whisper, "What on earth's happened to Enzo? And how did you get lumbered with him?" Janie cast a frightened glance in the direction of the cold store. "Enzo's retired," she whispered back nervously. "We're very lucky to have Chef. He's very well thought of." Perdita humphed. To her, Enzo was Chef. It wasn't right. "Chef is dead, long live Chef," she muttered. "What do you think of him, Greg?" Greg shrugged. "Not laid back like Enzo was." This wasn't surprising. Enzo could be, and generally was, described as horizontal. He was so relaxed, an unusual and endearing feature in a chef. But not, Perdita's sense of fair play was forced to admit, a characteristic likely to make one hugely successful. Before she could speculate further, Lucas came back into the kitchen. "Here." He handed Perdita a small, segmented tuber, about the size of a prawn. It was dark brown. "Can you grow these?" Perdita was a professional. She reckoned to know her veg, the obscurer the better. But she was flummoxed this time. What is it?" "It's a cronies." "I thought that was a disease," said Perdita. "It's named after a French town. But you can call it a Chinese artichoke if you like. It's like a dead nettle with roots you can eat. I brought it back from France. If you can grow it, I'll buy every bit you can produce." She examined the tuber he put into her hand. "Well, I'll give it a go. Have you any idea of what it needs?"